Hi, and welcome to Three Questions with my buddy Sam Boghigian with us. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate. Hey, Sam, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for having me.
So, Sam, interesting times in the real estate market. Everyone wants to have all those buyers coming through their house, but now that's kind of changed a little bit. We're not putting 30 or 40 couples in on an open house anymore. What's the plan? How do you continue to buy and sell real estate in this market, bud?
Yeah, so a lot of it's unknown at this point. Like, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen. It's kind of early on in it. I can tell you for sure, open houses are not what they were, a couple weeks ago. As far as some are still happening, but like sellers are getting, a little bit more hesitant. Do they want, like you said, 40, 50 people walking through at a time? Buyers, I haven't seen too much. As much hesitation so far, especially with like private showings. Right now, there's enough control where you can wipe things down, use hand sanitizer to at least control it, like with like one-off showings and stuff. So those seem to be going well, okay, so far. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just about being flexible, marketing it right, and being available to have those showings, because you're probably going to have more private showings than trying to group it all together at once. So just knowing that and understanding it and being able to work around that.
So, Sam, as we come into the proverbial spring market, which seems to be earlier every year, what is some of the advice on both selling and buying a home? What are you recommending to your clients right now, bud?
Yeah, it really comes down to depending on if you're selling and buying or just buying, it depends. But if you're selling, even with the virus, and we're not sure exactly how it's going to affect things, but from an inventory standpoint, we didn't have enough inventory, months ago, and we definitely don't have it now. So rates are still extremely low. So in that respect, if you're comfortable with, people coming through the house, now is still, at this point, it's a very good time to sell. Things are pretty strong still. Will that be the case in 3 to 4 weeks? Your guess is as good as mine. And from a buying point, like I said, the rates are still very low. I haven't seen too much hesitation, from a one-to-one, buyer going out. If somebody was looking and they needed to buy a house, 2 weeks ago, they haven't stopped in their tracks yet, for the most part. Will that change if people start losing their jobs and stuff like that? It's possible. But we're still early in it. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be, but the things don't really change. If you need to sell and buy at the same time, it's really about having that plan, knowing what your timeline is. You want to make sure that you want to try to line stuff up ahead of time, as far as if you can rent or if you can go somewhere, stay with family or friends. But at the very least, a lot of people hesitate to put their home on the market before they find something. And that's really a conversation we need to have on a one-to-one basis, because if you go put an offer on a house and you need to sell yours and you haven't even listed it yet, that is not a very strong offer. It can be, especially when we're still getting multiple offers right now. You want to at least have it listed, if not under contract. But, people look at me and then say, well, that's nice, Sam. You sold it in 10 minutes, but now I don't have anywhere to go. So there's an art to it. You got to really look and see exactly, and it depends on what type of home you're looking for. There are some in the market that there's a lot more available than others, different price ranges, stuff like that. So it all depends, but it really comes down to a per situation basis.
But like you mentioned, if you're just a straight up buyer, meaning you can find a house, this seems like a golden opportunity. Rates are so extremely low. I understand, like I said, there's not a lot of inventory, but if you find what you want, you go in with a great offer, chances are you may be in good shape.
Absolutely. With rates where they are right now, I encourage people, have that conversation with a lender, find one that you trust, and run the numbers and see and say, yes, I'm paying a higher price, in this market, but with the rates where they're at, when are they going to be like this again? For one, and two, if you find your house, especially if you're renting and you don't have to sell anything, you go into a multiple offer situation and there's other offers that they might be offering a higher price, but they have a home sale contingency. Sellers are going to seriously look at yours. You know what I mean? So there's other ways, I've said before, to negotiate versus just on price, and not having, any sort of contingency wrapped in that offer goes a long way.
So, Sam, one of the things that always fascinates me is people don't realize, how affordable it can be to buy a home. I still have people think you need, 20% down, or, just like, I can't afford that. And I'm like, Sam, you just told me you're paying $2,000 a month in rent. You could probably, go on and get a really nice house for that. So even just having that conversation with you to say, hey, what would it look like if we did go and buy this house? Makes sense, right?
I think it was probably 2 months ago, max, maybe. I had somebody come to me and say, hey, very early, just starting to look. I'm renting right now. It's getting kind of crazy. I think I could probably, be paying close to what I'm paying now for a mortgage, etc. I gave him some information. I was like, take your time. I'm not here to push you. I'm just here to give you the information. Like 3 days later, he calls me up and says, yeah, no, I'm not, I'm done renting. Like, this needs to happen. Like, the rates got lower. And he just closed last week. So it was just like, this is a very good time. Affordability wise, you're paying a significant amount in rent. Rents are crazy right now. And you could easily, whether, especially a condo or something, but you could you could turn that into a mortgage. Then you have equity, you have something that you actually own. And when you walk away from it, either you rent it out. I have people that have done that, they bought it, they want to move up, but they're renting it out and keeping it. But at the very least, you can turn around and sell it. You don't just have straight expenses and just money lost. You know what I mean?
I remember my daddy, God rest his soul, always saying that he was a big believer in buying a home. He's like, otherwise, son, all you have is a shoebox full of rent receipts.
Yeah.
10 years from now.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
that was great advice. Sam, how can people reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Best way is just to reach out directly to my phone. My number, my cell is 603-339-2429. They can also email me, sboghigian@kw.com, or look me up on social media, Sam, my last name, Boghigian, and they can find me that way.
Hey, Sam, appreciate you taking a few minutes to jump on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin. Take care.